Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Guys, I got this Soviet Arms rear sight Picatinny rail. A lot of guys have the Turo arms. This allows you to mount an optic on your AK without putting a side rail on here. I put one on this one yesterday. Instructions ain't very good, but I like to have the option of if I want to put an optic on there or not, and it came out really good. And it was hard to do it. Believe me, it wasn't easy, but this thing is solid. It ain't going to go nowhere. I do have side mounts on the other two AKs there, but I wanted the option on this one. So I got these ones. They were out of the Toro arms, but you got to remove the rear sight and the leaf spring on the AK, and it can be tricky. It's not easy, that's for sure. You got to lift up your sight, and the spring sits like this on there. You got to raise up, and as you raise up, you push down on this, and there's little grooves here in the side here of the trunnion that this will pull out from. Like I said, I had a lot of issues doing this, the other one, but you raise it up on there, and you got to use a lot of force to pull it out, and then you got to use yourself a set of needle nose pliers and get a hold of that leaf spring there, and then just lift up and pull out. Yeah, just like that. And if you can see inside here, there's a little track right here where these two little knobs here glide into. The instruction they give you ain't very good. I got this from Palmetto State Armory. The instructions ain't very good, but you have two T torque screws. You have a 5/64 drive set screw, the Picatinny mount, and then two locking inserts. And then I also got a couple more charging handles to put on my other AKs. But yeah, it takes a lot of force to get this out. It's definitely not easy. You gotta use a lot of strength to pull it out. That's for sure. When you put this in there, it has a groove in here in the front of it, but you can only put it in one way because the holes won't line up. See that, how they're perfectly lined up? And then it tells you to set the two screws in just to get them started, to hold the bottom piece on. And then there's another real tricky part here, and that's this push pivot pin here. It's very small. It kind of, let me see if I can. It's very small. As you can see, kind of looks like a L shape maybe. But that's got to go in one of these holes here. The one on the side of your charging handle. And then the set screw that they give you, when you put the set screw in, it'll butt up to this one and it holds it in place. But it's very, very, like I said, the other one I got is very strong. I mounted it last night after work. Again, it wasn't easy. Getting it off, it does take some force, but if you wiggle it around enough and get working on it, it'll go. So this has to go in with this piece up here in this way, so like this, and it's kind of like I said, it's not easy to get it lined up into this hole here because you don't really have a lot of room to work. But once you get it in there, it's pretty easy or to get it started. I turn my gun sideways so if it falls, I won't lose it. Because like I said, it's not easy to grab and shove it in that hole there. Let me see if I can get this in there. Nope, dropped it. If you have a magnetic pair of needle nose pliers or something, it probably slide in a lot easier because it's a real small hole that it's going into. Okay, there we go. All right, let me see if I can turn this around so I can show you what it looks like. So as you can see right here in the hole, it's sticking out. See that? Ooh, now I just knocked it back in. But that's how it's got to go. That groove in there looks similar to the end of this, so you know that once it goes in, it's in there. You'll feel it that it drops in place there. It's just the right size hole to be able to get this in there and drop it in. There's not a lot of wiggle room. Okay, there. So now that we got that in there, take your mount here. This groove, the groove that I was talking about, right here in the front, locks under where the old leaf spring used to go, and you'll feel it lock in place because it kind of just drops in. And there's a right here that slides over that little pivot arm that you just stuck in there, so it's a perfect fit to go right over that little pivot arm in there once it's in there. And then you wiggle it around till the front gets in there, and as you can see, it's locked in place. I'm going to use some red tight, and I'm going to put this set screw in there just to keep everything lined up so that piece doesn't fall out. That little pivot arm. Make sure my hole here is lined up and get this set screw started in there. This set screw kind of just holds it in place. I'm gonna put some of that red Loctite that they tell you to use for the charging handles on there on the thread, just to make it nice and tight. And then I'll torque it down, and I'll do one at a time here. And you just put some on the threads a little bit. And this stuff's supposed to work great, but it's a very snug, strong fit, guys. It's not going to go nowhere. Once you got this set in place, like I said, you can't wiggle it or nothing. You could beat it with a hammer, and it's the Picatinny mount is not going to move. Maybe I don't know if I have this in all the way. This one seems to be sitting higher than my other one did. I think I don't have this piece all the way in there yet. Yeah, I don't. I gotta take this off again and adjust it. There, it felt like it just fell in. So this groove here, in the back where you remove the leaf spring, where the screw is, it sits in something like this. So once it gets seated in there, when you lift up on it, you shouldn't be able to see it. Like, you shouldn't be able to lift up on it too far, because that'll let you know that you have it seated in there. it should almost sit flush with your dust cover if you got it in there correctly. And I'll tighten one down here just to see if it should almost touch your dust cover. Not all the way, but almost. As you can see, there's very little gap here. That's it. And you gotta be able to have enough room to get your dust cover off. And that's how you'll know that you got it set correctly. I'm gonna put some more Loctite here on the red one. I mean on the last screw here. And drop it in place. Yeah, the Toro arms, they were out of them. So I found the Soviet arms, almost the same thing. The Toro one, I kind of didn't like it because they want you, they tell you which wholesome sight or red dot that you can use with it, with each different mount you get. But I don't want to get something where I have to buy a $400 optic or $500 optic for it. I mainly wanted this so I had the choice of whether or not I wanted to put an optic on there or not put an optic on there. You know what I mean? It's nice to have that option versus those two over there where they have the, I'll show you, they have the side mount. They have the side mount on there, and I really didn't want to drill into my receiver to mount a side mount, but I like to have the options if I want to put a mount optic on my AK or not. And so once you get your set screw set in, like I said, this thing doesn't wiggle, doesn't move or nothing. It's very strong and secure, and it ain't gonna go nowhere, and it actually looks very, very nice. It's very even there. It's got a nice gap here to be able to remove the dust cover. But let me show you what I was talking about with this one. Yeah, these have a side rail optic on there, which is nice. But like I said, I didn't want to drill into my receiver to be able to have to put this side mount on there. So I opted for the Soviet arms. And like I said, it was reasonably priced. I think I paid about $160 for two of them, and then I got like I said, a couple more charging handles. I need one for this particular AK, and that one right there don't have them. But so I have the red Loctite for the charging handle, but I also have epoxy because I read a lot of comments about people saying these blow off right after a magazine or so. I didn't want to have that issue, so I got some Gorilla Glue epoxy that I'm going to use, but I haven't used it yet because I'm thinking of buying a brand new bolt carrier group for this. You can find them on the internet, and they're not, I think they're $250. You get the whole thing, the piston, the bolt, the carrier, everything, just as a backup one, a forged one, which these already have one, but just to have backup if you have a lot of AKs like I do. It's good to have a backup. So if I use the epoxy on this, I wouldn't be able to get it off if I decided to change. I mean, it was only $25. I could buy a new one, but still, you know what I mean? But I'll probably just going to go ahead and epoxy anyways if I have trouble with it. Like I said, they recommended using this red Loctite, so hopefully mine doesn't fall off, but everywhere that I've read, guys are saying that they come off. Some come off, some don't. But this should be very strong. Tight it up real good. And like I said, guys, there's no movement in these at all. Nothing at all. So you can see where the set screw went in right here. And then that pivot arm that we put in on the back, you can see it right there, right here, right there. But there's literally no movement on this mount at all. It's very, very nice. I'm very happy with it. You got plenty of room to remove your dust cover or do whatever you want. And like I said, this I wanted to have the option. If I wanted to put a mount on here, I could. If I don't, if I want to take it off, I can do that as well. And that's about it, guys. Like I said, it's hard to get the old rear sight off in the spring. It's not easy. You're gonna have to use a lot of strength to get this out of here. Lift up, get you a flathead screwdriver, push down on this piece right here. Once you raise this leaf spring up, you'll see a little bit of the spring sticking out, just like this. You push down on this and then pull outwards, so this comes out, slides in that groove and pulls out, and you should be all set. Thanks for watching, guys. If you have any questions, please let me know. Please like and subscribe, guys. We're almost at 1,000 subscribers, so thank you guys very much, man. That means a lot to me. And we'll do another giveaway here probably in the next week or so. We'll do another concealment flag giveaway. Have a great day, everybody.